In this video, I want to explain in detail what I do as a data analyst. The aim is to help anyone who plans and wants to become a data analyst. I'll share everything from what we do, how we work, a day in the life, salary and expectations, and my thoughts on the market for data analysts in 2025 and in the future. I hope this can help you figure out if data analytics is for you. Let's get into it. So what are we going to cover today? We first going to cover what is a data analyst briefly. What do I do as a data analyst? 3, how do I communicate with my team? 4, a day in the life of a data analyst, in this case is mine. 5, why become a data analyst? And 6, are data analysts in danger in 2025? And in between, I'm going to share some statistics and revenue and salary and all these things. So what is a data analyst? A data analyst is someone that makes sense of messy data. That's how I usually define a data analyst to my friends or people that don't know what's a data analyst. I just say we take on a bunch of data and we try and make sense of it. We analyze it, define some measurable KPIs and try to report them to add value to the business or help someone make an informed decision, whether it's your colleague, whether it's your boss, whether it's a client, or whether it's a stakeholder. Our goal is to take something that is not yet usable and make it usable, then add value by analyzing it and reporting on it. So we deliver value to stakeholders and clients. We also help the company make informed decisions, as I mentioned, and a data analyst combines both technical skills and soft skills. Technical is everything that you do within Excel, SQL, Python, where you clean the data, scrape the data, analyze it, visualize it, report it. And the soft skills is how you communicate your findings, how you add value to the business, your understanding of the business and the industry. And a data analyst has a good mix of both. You can't have one or the other because a data analyst job is very impactful. You're in middle of bringing or bridging that gap of misinformation into information that leads into a next step or a next action. So you will always speak to stakeholders, clients, and you will even work with the highest people within companies, especially if you work within a startup environment. Data analysts are also accurate and impactful. As I said, your work is not in the dark. You're directly in the front of what's going on. So you need to be good in soft skills as well. And you need to be a good storyteller because when you report, your report has to have some sort of story. How you started and what was your hypothesis, how you managed to confirm it or infirm it, and then present the results. So what do I do? I'll just walk you through briefly what I usually do in my work. So I have initial meetings on a project or a client project with my team where we talk about the KPIs, the report style, the data, if there's anything missing or anything like that. Then I go take that data, go and explore it, try to see what's going on there, what's missing, what can I analyze, where can I measure, and all these things. I use Excel or Pandas within Python mainly these days, but before I used to use SQL as well, so it depends on how your team works. I do data cleaning, data analysis, usually using Python and Pandas. So you can use libraries such as Pandas, NumPy to visualize Matplotlib or Plotly. So basically just a way to analyze a bunch of data, and then I report in PowerPoint. So why do we use PowerPoint and not Power BI? Because the team has to report to different clients in different industries, and instead of keeping them all in our system, we just present to them via PowerPoint, but we still have like a standardized way of reporting, and it is nicely done via PowerPoint. Before, I used to use Power BI, and I didn't think that on PowerPoint it would be nice, but still, you can do some cool things on PowerPoint. Not as powerful as Power BI at all, but this is how I work these days. Then I have a second meeting to see, okay, the progress, if there are any adjustments, to discuss maybe the findings, if something looks odd or something looks too high or too low. These are things that go in a second meetings. In the second meetings, then I deliver the final report, which the CSM or the customer success manager is going to present to the client. And if there is anything in between, they will reach out to me and I will try to help and explain what's going on. So the way we communicate usually is 3 different ways. I work fully remote, so I'm not in the office, and we have video calls for initial meetings or even for follow-up meetings where there is something important to cover. But if it's something quite quick or a quick update, it could be simply on a Microsoft Teams message. because we use Microsoft in the company I work for, or via Loom videos. It's basically just recording my screen and sending to them updates. My team doesn't do that, but I'm so used to doing it that sometimes I prefer, instead of sending a message, I send a detailed Loom video where I explain my thoughts or my questions, because it's way better, to be honest, to use a Loom than just a message, and then it saves us sometimes time to not jump necessarily on a meeting. So a day in the life of a data analyst, and here I take the example of myself. So I always draft or write down all the tasks and goals that I have for the next day on the night before. Why is it the case? First, it's because I still remember the work that I've been doing on the day, and it's easier for me to know what I need to do on the next day because it's still fresh. And second thing is because I want to reduce the friction of myself sat in the morning not knowing where to start from. So when I sit, and it takes me just 2 minutes to do so, I just write down the tasks for the day, I just put them in Notion, and then on the next day when I sit, I directly start. Yes, things might change and I'll have to adjust, but I have everything already set in one place before even starting the day. Then I usually have an early meeting or early follow-up from the team that can give me some guidance on what to focus on or what to prioritize. That's not always the case, but when I have a meeting, it usually comes early in the morning, unless it's some sort of follow-up meeting that can come during the day. Then I have my first deep work session. And this one is the most precious one that I have. I usually do it from a coffee shop. It's a 3-4 hour, one session deep work where I work on the most challenging tasks that I have. And it's usually coding. I go explore the data, analyze it, try to measure all the KPIs. And usually I do that early in the morning because I am fresh, I have my coffee on the side, and I'm able to think and do the most challenging work early on. Then I have a quick lunch break, come home, cook something quickly, and then I jump again into my second deep work session, which is roughly 3 hours deep work session up until 4. And here what I do is a lot of maintenance work. If I have any emails to go through, messaging, if I have any messages or loop to send to my team, and also more into the reporting side and visualization side, because in the afternoons I'm more tired than the morning. So I try to avoid very challenging coding where I need to be 100% focused. However, if there is still work to catch up on, obviously I do it, but this is ideally how I structure my day. And then end of the day, I deliver all the updates to my team. If there is a report that is finished, if there are any major updates, I send them to my team and to the relevant people, because I work on different projects simultaneously with different people within the team. So I try to keep everyone updated on what I do. You see me, I didn't touch on, do I use Excel or do I use Python or SQL? Because it doesn't matter. Whatever your team uses, you'll have to adapt to it. And it's good to have all those skill sets, obviously, but it's here pointless for me to tell you, hey, I spent 2 hours on a SQL database using PostgreSQL. You know, I just tell you what I do in general and the tools we adapt to them. So why become a data analyst? There are 3 major things that I could think of. First one is impact. You work directly with stakeholders and you deliver direct value that is seen automatically. And that's the beauty of data analysis, is that whatever you do has an impact directly. When you work as a data engineer or data scientist, you don't see the results directly. It takes time so that you see your results, or you're just part of the chain where your work is very important, but you don't see directly impacting the client or the stakeholder. Second thing is expertise. It's a very challenging specialty. You have so many things that you need to learn and to improve, and you have to be very accurate as well. So it's not an easy field to be in, and don't feel too scared at the beginning because there are a lot of things to learn. Just take it one step at a time, and I'm sure you can do great over time. And last, it's income. In tech in general, it pays better than other industries, and data analysis is really good overall. Obviously, data engineers, data scientists, machine learning engineers, a little bit more specialized so they can get paid better. But data analysis is still quite good overall, I would say. And I will talk more about salaries and expectations in future slides. So let's jump into salary. And here you see that I've chosen the UK and USA because they're the ones that I hear more about in demand. And also I live in the UK, so I'll give you my opinion on this. You see there are 2 graphs. The first one is for junior, the other one is for senior. So junior is everything from 0 to 3 years of experience, and senior is 4 years plus. Here, I didn't want to split it too much into graduates, intern, junior, mid-level, senior, because there'll be just too many graphs to show, and there's not really very much accurate data. Every website gives different prices overall and revenue, and you'll see sources like Glassdoor, Indeed, Career Foundry. This is where I got the information from. And you also need to know that salary is impacted heavily by where you work from, what company. Is it a startup or is it a corporate, a big corporate company? How many years of experience, the size of the company, the skill set that is demanded from you. So it was very difficult to just pinpoint something and just tell you, okay, this is how much it is. And these forecasts for the next 3 to 6 years are also based from what I found on the internet. So we can see that there's an upward trend in terms of how much we're going to earn as data analysts. And in the US, the curve goes a little bit higher than the UK, which shows a better growth in tech usually in USA. So you'll see that on average, a data analyst junior in the UK will earn between 30 to 50,000 pounds or 60,000 as senior. And in the US, it'll be more from $50,000 to $125,000 from the lower end into the higher end. And obviously working for Netflix is not working for a small startup. So these are things to consider. Being in New York or San Francisco is not the same as being in a small city in the US as well. Same in the UK. Being in London is not the same as being in Cardiff or Newport or smaller cities. So that's something to keep in mind. So are data analysts in danger in 2025? I would say no, not in the short term, because there are a lot of companies that are created and all companies leverage data nowadays. So everyone has to become a data analyst in some sort. Even managers, even marketers, they have to become good data analysts. And this is the tricky part, because if in the short term, I believe that data analysts are quite safe overall because there is demand and it's increasing. But in the long term, I believe that solutions like Google, Microsoft, or AWS, or any other big corporate, they will be able to incorporate business intelligence and data analysis within their system, like Salesforce does, like HubSpot does. They're not yet perfect or good enough yet, but I believe within the next 2, 5, 10 years, this can become a challenge, and therefore more companies will need less data analysts because within their systems, they're able to grab the information they want, and they're also able to generate reports and dashboards in a very easy way. So my advice here would be to try and specialize in specific industries and broaden a little bit your skill set to lean into data engineering, data science, machine learning engineering. So then you can keep your job a little bit on a safer spectrum where, because you're skilled at other things, if data analytics and reporting will become more automated, you can just lean into other data science skills or machine learning skills, because those, I believe that they will last way longer and they are safer, I would say, than data analytics. But hopefully this is just me estimating, and just from what I see, from what I hear from people, it doesn't mean this is the truth. You can do your own research, of course, and just try and make informed decisions about your future yourself. I recently made a video on a hands-on data analyst project analyzing end-to-end an art gallery museum dataset, so you can find it just here or in the comment section. And if you enjoyed it, remember to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. It does help me immensely. If you have any comments, of course, it's in the comment section. I make sure to answer all of them. If you have any suggestions, anything, just pop them in here and I'll be happy to respond. Thank you for watching.